In today's video, we're going to be going over some fragrances that I wouldn't pass up if you want to have a nice, full, complete collection that covers most of the basics here. So we're kind of looking to just do a little bit of everything. Spring, summer, fall, winter, formal, casual, playful, mature, that sort of thing. You get the idea. And I think we've pretty much covered our bases here. We even have one niche fragrance that we're going to start off with that is super easy to pull off and very wearable, great compliment puller. Everything else is going to be designers within varying price ranges here to really fit every situation, everybody's budget. So I'm going to put links down below in the description if you want to do some shopping. It'll make it super easy to pick these up at prices below retail. So that niche fragrance we're going to start off with is actually Parfums de Marly Layton. Now, the good news is there are several clones, so don't let the price discourage you on this one. I'll name off a couple right now. Al Haramain Detour Noir, $20. There's also Amber Oud Exclusive Blue, about $40, $45. And there are several more. So that's again, only two off the top of my head. There's many more you could look into if you want to do that, but those are two of my favorites. It just depends on the price range you're after and that sort of thing. Just for the sake of keeping this simple, we're gonna, reference Layton, but again, you could put the clones in place of this one as well. This is a nice sweet vanilla, apple, cinnamon, lavender, tonka bean based scent. It smells wonderful and really doesn't need to be described too much, so I'm not gonna spend all day on this one. Just know that it's a niche fragrance that is ultra wearable, ultra versatile, and just a huge compliment puller. That's the reason why this one rose to fame. The fact that it pulls amazing compliments, people love it, coupled with the fact that it is a strong performer, and essentially this is kind of modern day Creed Aventus. And I'd say that to also say that this smells absolutely nothing like Creed Aventus. But the reason why I bring that up is because Aventus, a niche fragrance, got really, really popular. It's expensive, but yet it still took off, and people outside of the fragrance community were hearing about it and also wearing it, whether it be Aventus or one of its many, many clones. And that was released in 2010. Layton is much newer and kind of did a similar thing, followed a similar path where it got pretty popular in the community, but that started to spill over into the real world as well. And not only are we talking this, but we're talking the several clones as well that picked up popularity and kind of was a snowball effect to where this scent DNA became pretty well known. That doesn't mean that this is a bad scent. I wouldn't condemn this. In fact, I still think it is one that is 1000% worth picking up and wearing. Even though it's known about at this point, people are still going to absolutely fall in love with the smell of this. And I think if you want a nice entry-level niche with tons of usability, and this is really it right here. If I didn't mention, that's going to be more cooler weather leaning, fall, winter, and even early parts of spring. Kind of has this kind of menthol green kick that you smell and more so feel, and you'll know what I mean when you smell it or one of the clones. So it just kind of has that unique twist as well. This next one is going to be Lalique Ombre Noir. All right, so they have an Ancre Noir. That's completely different. This is Ombre Noir. This one has tobacco, cognac, and cinnamon. Nice, unique smelling designer. I believe price on this is going to be somewhere around $50, maybe $60. Maybe even a bit less, actually. I can't remember. I think the price has fluctuated a little bit over the years and maybe dropped down a little bit. But what I like about it is it just has this kind of boozy, sweet richness with a little bit of this freshness also. I believe a fig note is used in here too. And then just a warm spice from that cinnamon. It smells so good, so unique. There's just something about this that really does stand out. And the fact of the matter is that is kind of a rarity, especially when we're talking designer brands. We don't get a whole lot of that these days. Things are getting sweeter and sweeter and smelling more similar and more similar. Not at all the case here. It's kind of a breath of fresh air. Now, this is not a new release either. It's been around for, I don't know, at least a few years at this point. And maybe has gained a little bit of traction over the past couple of years, but still not what I would consider to be a popular scent at all. It's still pretty well overlooked. I would say most people maybe don't have this one or have considered adding it to their collection, but I would recommend doing so. Great price, really nice presentation. The color of the liquid itself gives you a pretty good idea of what to expect. A rich, warm, spicy, full-bodied scent, and that's exactly what you get. Yet another nice performer coming in at a great price. Oh, and again, I probably didn't say this either, but by my description, you could probably imagine cooler weather leaning as well. Right, now this next one, we're gonna change gears completely and move into more of a spring summer oriented scent. One that is relatively new and maybe got a little bit of talk when it first came out just because it was new, right? And every time a new fragrance from this line, or really any line, is released, you know, well-established fragrance lines, they're immediately talked about because, well, it's a popular line. And then depending on what the general consensus is, it will either continue to grow in popularity or people forget about it. And I kind of feel like people forgot about this one. It is Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, Capri, and Love. Now they give us 3 notes: fig, patchouli, and black pepper. Fair enough, nice little start. And you guys know I'm not usually the biggest fan of fig. It really just depends for me. And this is one where I do like it. It's very prominent, okay? So you do pick up on it easily. It's gonna be about the first thing that you smell, but there are plenty of other notes going on as well. And what really seals this one in for me is the use of the patchouli here. It does give it more of a masculine feel, a little bit of a green kind of woodiness, and then you get that nice spicy black pepper. And you're thinking, you know, is this a summer scent, right? Because that doesn't really sound like it. It is. I mean, when you smell this one, it does have this tropical type of smell. And personally, I get kind of this coconut smell out of it too, almost like this coconut water type of tropical, fresh brightness with a little bit of a sweetness as well, of course, because coconut often comes across that way. That's kind of where this one falls in. It's kind of out of character for Light Blue because Light Blue, the original, Oh Intense, and then you take a look at things like Forever and Italian Love, even Italian Zest, and just a lot of other ones. I could keep going on, Discover Volcano and so on. Much fresher, right? They just are, right? And this one is, well, it's sweeter, it's kind of heavier, it's richer, it's a bit out of character again. But hey, I don't mind that. I think, you know, we have all those other fresher releases from the brand. They gave us something here with a little bit more depth, a little bit more bite and richness, which I really can't complain about. Now let's move into something that's going to be more classic, more sophisticated, more refined, and I'll just go ahead and say it, a little bit more old school smelling. So I do want to throw that out there. This is not something everybody's going to want to rush out and blind buy. It's, again, more of a classic. However, I think to some extent, people should have something like this. Now, you don't have to go to this level. You could go for something different. Maybe if I think of a couple off the top of my head, I'll give some other suggestions. But something like Dior Eau Sauvage Parfum is a good option to have around. And essentially what this is kind of an older aromatic fougere type of classic smell. And again, I already said it, but it just has this gentlemanly, kind of refined and elegant, classy smell to it that, you know, is worthwhile having to some form and to some capacity in a collection. It's got citron, lavender, vetiver, and some bergamot as well. So it has this classic citrus aromatic smell, right? The regular Eau Sauvage has that. Eau Sauvage Cologne is a fantastic flanker that's lighter and brighter than this one, and actually might be a good choice for some of you guys as well if you don't want to go this heavy. And there's also Eau Sauvage Extreme, which is discontinued, and that one just kind of takes it a step further, like this one, just more intense than this one. But this is one that I do enjoy. It's not something I wear all the time. It's kind of more of a situationally specific type of scent. If I want something that just has more of a premium feel, more of a richness, then I would go for something like this. You could also substitute in something like Terre d'Hermès, whether it be the original Eau Intense Vetiver, Terre d'Hermès Parfum, something along those lines, just a woody, kind of vetiver-based, classic gentleman smelling scent. The Terre d'Hermès series would be a little bit more entry level. Again, this one's a little bit more out there. This definitely does not align with modern day fragrance releases in the slightest. So I'm doubling down on that just so nobody gets themselves into a sticky situation with a blind buy on this one, because people out there who are younger, you're probably not going to like this, right? So make sure you have that in your mind going into it. But that being said, man, this still would be a great fit in a lot of guys' collections, especially if you just want something that is going to completely stand out, right? Yes, it's going to smell more classic, more mature, but that's what some people want. And if that is you, this would be one to look into. I think you're looking at around $120 to $130 for this one, 100 ml full presentation. Really not bad for what you get here in terms of performance. richness, uniqueness, and quality, it's a Dior, right? And again, just to double down on this too, it's Eau Sauvage, okay? This is not Dior Sauvage parfum. They are 1000% different. So don't see Sauvage and think that they're similar. They couldn't be further from each other. This next one is going to be YSL L'Homme Les Parfums. Kind of switching back into modern day, spring, summer, but realistically all year round wear here. Eau Sauvage, kind of a similar deal. Year-round, gentleman's classic, kind of signature scent style. Could work for about anything. Not going to be best for high heat summer, but inside it's fine. Same thing with this. It's just kind of all year round. If I had to pick one season for it in specific, it would probably be spring, just given the blend that you have. But again, I view this more as like, you know, a 365-day a year type of thing. It's just if you feel like wearing it, chances are you could probably wear it and be fine, even though there are going to be better options for specific individual situations or temperatures. This can work for anything. And the easiest way to describe this one is it's original YSL L'Homme mixed with modern day YSL Y EDP. So you get some of that amberwood, geranium, kind of blue fragrance, aromatic freshness from YEDP, and you get that apple, ginger, lavender type of classic smell from the original L'Homme. You combine both of those into one for about $80 or maybe even $90 now, and now you have L'Homme Les Parfums. That's essentially what you have, just the best of both of those scents mixed together. And that's why I love this one, because I love the original L'Homme, that classic smell, and I love Y Eau de Parfum and some of its other affiliates, you know, YEDP Intense and Y Les Parfum and so on. And it's just, again, it's the best of both worlds. And again, it's just ultra versatile, amazing compliment puller as well. People are going to love how this smells. There's just a lot of use that you can get out of this one for a really reasonable price. Let's keep it moving with Bleu Noir Eau de Parfum by Narciso Rodriguez. Really nice looking bottle on this, kind of Bleu de Chanel looking. Now in terms of smell, doesn't smell anything like Bleu de Chanel, but the bottle does have that kind of classy signature look to it. This one has musk, vetiver, and cedarwood. It's dry, it's woody, it's a little bit earthy, but not crazy. It's not like a Terre d'Hermes level of earthiness. And then just musky and clean. Not soapy, okay? So this is not a soapy blue smelling scent like, you know, even to some extent a Bleu de Chanel or a Dylan Blue or something along those lines. It doesn't have that out of the shower clean soapiness. It's just more of a drier, woody, musky based scent, which again kind of was going against the grain, especially when you look at this. You see the blue gradient, you see the shape of the bottle, you immediately think blue fragrance, or at least I do, right? Also, obviously, duh, it says blue, okay? So everything points to another blue fragrance, but this is not. It couldn't be further from your typical blue fragrance. So I think for that reason, maybe some people choose to look away from this one because they don't want something like that again. But I would say that, hey, this is not that. And if you don't want that, well, this might be something that you're interested in. It's pretty simple, really. It's woods and musk, okay? But ultimately, that does give you something that is just wearable, something that you could use for any situation, any time of the year. And I think in terms of price, you're looking typically mid-range, $50, maybe $60 for full presentation, 100 milliliter. That's not too bad. We're gonna finish this video off with a fall and winter scent here, coming in usually around $80 or so. It's Azzaro Wanted by Night. Gonna have the tobacco, the fruity notes, the cinnamon, and the incense. Boy, it is absolutely amazing. I love Wanted by Night. This, Forever Wanted Elixir, Most Wanted Parfum, my top three. Those are three of my favorites, my must-haves. And if you're looking to get into the Wanted line, start with one of those. Take your pick, whichever one looks most interesting to you. Go for it. And also, you're going to have great performance from no matter which one you pick. And so that's what I like about this. Amazing performance, great for fall, great for winter, great compliment puller as well. It simply just works, and it's kind of like a no-brainer for me and for a lot of people. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for me. Some fragrances you just can't live without. If you want a nice solid foundation, these are some to look into. I will link everything down below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.